out of your way. Pretty good. Pretty confident.
And we are live on an absolutely picturesque mid-May afternoon. Playoff lacrosse has reached Van Brunt Field, and this evening the Prep B championship game in 2018 between the MKA Cougars and the visiting Argonauts of Rutgers Prep. I'm Corey Barbarian. I'm a new student here at MKA. Just figured I'd give this TV thing a try. I got a chuckle from my camera guy. Now this is a game of the last two runner-ups in this tournament. The year ago it was Rutgers Prep losing to Princeton Day School in convincing fashion, 11-2. And on this stage the year before, in 2016, the year the Cougars made the state championship game, they fell in the Prep championship down in Princeton 6-5. So without the presence of those pesky Panthers here in the tournament, it is the Cougars and the Argonauts, the stage set for this one on a very pleasant Wednesday evening. The MKA Cougars 10-6, the Rutgers Prep Argonauts 5-8. Coming into this one, the Cougars taking down Morristown Baird, and the Argonauts knocked off Newark Academy, the team the Cougars also beat in overtime this regular season. And so at the face-off X, James Perry for the Argonauts, 26 in black, and Alex Stetkovich for the MKA Cougars wearing 36 in white. Always an interesting matchup to see as Stetkovich takes over the duties of Ben Giannis, which he held the last 2 years. Glad you're with us on this rainy day. I cannot fault you for tuning in instead of coming to Van Brunt Field, in a clean win on the ground, swept along by Perry. Perry trying to come up with it. Harrison Walker gets his long stick in there, but coming up with this is Liam Gleason for the Argonauts, playing it back to his goaltender. Charlie Phillips, the junior, in goal. Outlets to Joey Coviello, tied for second on this team with 11 goals. Max South giving him a hard ride as he comes in around goal line extended on the near side. And the opening possession goes to the Argonauts in this Prep B final. Around behind, Danny Varga, the man to watch in black tonight. 35 goals and 13 assists. His 48 points blows everybody else out of the water. Joey Coviello with it here. 55 seconds into this first quarter. No score in the contest. Nick Ciotti with this one here. Trying to bully his way by, but not letting him do it was Ethan Gross. Probing the far side. Fiorello, number 1 in black. Dom Fiorello and then Varga. Always dangerous, but he's checked in. Nico Espinosa Dice, the long pole, comes up with it for the Cougars in the first minute 20. And Alex Melitz will get his first touch of the night. Alex Melitz 10-6, only allowing 6.4 goals per game and saving almost 9 per contest, but he gave it away at midfield. It's Gleason up ahead, led on by Ciotti. Forced to the outside by Ethan Gross and comes outside the hashes in the first minute 45, scoreless first period. Up the far side, Joey Coviello, Michael Hermo, the long pole in tow. Comes around behind and into the corner. It's Connor Cohen, the sophomore. Around behind. Nick Ciotti a touch here. And then Fiorella working in behind the net, cycling a few men at the X position. Now it's Varga, stripped to the ball again, and the Cougars force a second turnover on Varga. This time it's Walker. Ahead it's Max South, a touch into the attacking box, and the Cougars the first chance. Jake Waldman, the assist leader, the assist master really, leading this team with 44 points, only a freshman, 30 of them helpers. And the Cougars will get Ryan Dancy out on the field. Jason Gertz, future Syracuse Orange, and now it's Breitweiser along to Waldman. Does plenty of his work from X. Onto the far side and back for Dancy again. Zach Kerr set up toward the front of the net, as he loves to be. Ryan Dancy goes into the middle. Caught by Breitweiser, kicks it back out. Gertz dropped it, picked it back up. Pressured by a long pole, but he keeps coming. John Carroll in hot pursuit there. Now it's Rollins Heath, the freshman on the far side. Down low, Waldman. Kerr set up in front, Dancy on the wing. Turns the corner, Gertz step down shot, missed high and over the bar. Cougars able to back it up as Kirsch was there. 8.5 to go, first quarter, no score from Van Brunt Prep B championship game. Around behind it's Dancy. Working against Aiden Lowe, forces him to the outside, kicks across to Breitweiser, and he threw it into the parking lot. Cougars will back it up again, an extended possession for the Cougars as they look to break the ice. It's Waldman for Dancy. Rollins Heath, the outstanding freshman, 24 points for Rollins. Gertz. And then Breitweiser from the goal line, feeds the middle. Kirsch is denied on the play, and the first save goes to Charlie Phillips. Save number 120 this year for Phillips, 5-8 as a starter. In front, Kirsch again avoided his cross. Gertzen around behind. Breitweiser takes it there. Near side, Dancy swerves around one, takes the shot, missed high again, and a third out-of-bounds ball backed up by the Cougars. Breitweiser there this time. Waldman from X, giving it up Dancy. Dancy plows through one, takes a lefty shot that rolls wide again, and Breitweiser there at X to back it up on the near side. 7:13 left first quarter. There is no score. Glad you've joined us on MKA TV. The winner takes the Prep Championship crown, something these teams have vied for the last couple of years, each team making the championship a year ago and 2 years ago respectively. Waldman avoids the crease violation, comes goal line, turns the corner, and it's Dancy. Gertz with it on this lengthy Cougar possession, which has produced 3 shot attempts. The shot this time from Heath is gobbled up in a second save for Charlie Phillips. So that's 2 for the junior Phillips, who averages 9.2 per game, but allows just under 9 per game. That's outletted ahead and brought on by Cohen. 3 goals this year, feeds the crease, and a shot missed wide. Had Varga all alone with just Mellitz, and the Cougars were able to back it up. Nearing the midway mark first period, there is no score still from Van Brunt. 58 degrees, not much wind, however. Just the rain is coming down and straight down. Rollins Heath as the Cougars get another touch in the box. Breitweiser and in behind Waldman. Feeds out Dancy, has Gertz at the point. Off his stick and rolls right to Heath at the wing. Gertz again, feeds left side. Dancy working against Carroll. And it's Gertz again. Steps into it. Heath to Breitweiser near the goal line and back out to the point. Gertz has it again, rolls off a man. Heath and then down low to the X position, and Waldman feeds Dancy. A step down shot again, and he rolls it high. Another one that misses the bar from Ryan on that left wing where he loves to shoot from. One of the co-captains on this team with 25 markers. Another one, and this time he stopped a third time by Phillips. Rebound captured by Gleason and given away, and having to get back in his creases. Phillips has a bad giveaway behind the goal, leads to another Cougars possession. Dancy again. Feeds Gertz. Heath on that wing. Pass was nearly picked, was tipped by Gleason, comes to Breitweiser in front, and he puts it wide again. That's got to be at least 7 shot attempts for the Cougars in the first 7 minutes of this ball game. 3 of them on goal, so it's not like they're not missing the target all that much. Gertz has it up top, and then Rollins Heath. 16 goals for Heath. Had a shot that was stopped earlier in this contest. Gertz feeds the crease. Waldman's denied. Rebound. Kirsch can't put it in. Gleason will back this one up if it rolls beyond the end line, and it will. Ahead of Waldman. Another flurry of shot attempts for the Cougars, who have clearly dominated this first period, but not where it counts. No score. Devin Sullivan up with it. Breitweiser literally stripped that ball away, and coming up out of his crease, way out of his crease, is Phillips. 25 yards out. Gleason the long pole near side. Rolled it past Harrison Walker and brought on by Varga. Around behind as Melitz looks that way. Walker giving him a ride. Looks to get an angle, doesn't get any on Harrison. Walker, one of 7 seniors on this Cougar team. Last year they only had 4, and only 2 of them on the varsity squad, but all 7 seniors have a role on this varsity team. Ciotti, right alley run. Ronnie Ramondes here forces him out, kicks up top, open man, and a shot missed wide and high from Varga. Backed up by Coviello, who will have it here. The shot would not go, and Melitz has it in behind in his crease. Final 3:40 of this first period, and you get a violation on the Cougars, leads to a possession for the Argonauts. Up top, it's Cohen. The sophomore led it across. Varga again, always so dangerous. They've bottled him up so far, and he missed a shot wide, working against Harrison Walker on the flank. Behind it, Ciotti again at the X. Ciotti comes in front, a shot. Melitz stopped it with his abdomen there. And Melitz has it safely. And Walker will look for an outlet. Harrison down to midfield. It's off the stick of Hall. Another check put on, and this will be a loose ball foul. Going back to the Argonauts, who garnered only a shot attempt from Varga on their last possession. It's been all Varga here. They've bottled him up so far, the Cougars. Hasn't hit the net once. Only 1 save for Melitz in this one. Phillips has at least 3 or 4, and unable to cross midfield is Phillips. And a timeout has been taken by the Argonauts. No score, first quarter, 2:56 left. A timeout here on a rainy day in Van Brunt Field. We'll be back after this. Final 2:56 opening period at Van Brunt Field, no score. Cougars with a bevy of offensive chances, but none have found the back of the net.
Yeah, you have to be Derek Moore.
The junior Charlie Phillips doing absolute work in the crease for the Argonauts. Ryan Klipstein called a timeout for Rutgers Prep. Former assistant at Holy Cross, the college. Not the high school down in Delaware, and that these Argonauts will be playing on Saturday in the first round of the state championship. Cougars will play Gill St. Bernard's on Saturday morning, and if both teams, Cougars and the Argonauts, win those games, then they will meet right back here at Van Brunt Field as the 4-5 matchup in the second round, the quarterfinal round of the state championship in non-public B. Sometime midweek next week, that pass eludes a man Cohen, and Cohen's got it back. Only one save for Mellett so far, light work. He's just been watching his offense go to work, but here, it's a dodge and a shot from Coviello that is snapped up by Mellett into his cross and leads South ahead as a step. And South down between the hashes. There goes Max South, but he's warded off to the outside by a long pole, Liam Gleason, and it's in the cross of Breitweiser. 2:10 to go, scoreless first. Max South coming off, Rollins Heath back on. Dancy back on the field as well. 6-on-6, Cougars controlling in their right end. It's Gertz and then Heath on that right wing, Dancy on the opposite wing, as we've seen all of this first quarter. At exits Waldman through Dancy to Gertz. On the wing, Rollins Heath again. Gertz and then Dancy. Dancy trying to dodge, meets a slide, feeds across the field, extra pass, Breitweiser down low behind the goal, Waldman. Feeds out, step down, Dancy with a left hand. This time he missed high again. That's 3. 3 step down shots for Dancy, open on that wing, and he's missed them all high over the bar. Rollins Heath looking for that first goal. Breitweiser faked the pass to Waldman. Goes to Heath up the wing. Heath with space, now meets the check. And behind it is Waldman. Waldman against Carroll. Dancy and back out, Gertz has it on the wing. Gertz will make a move this time, Dancy with it open. Dancy not taking it, cross the field, a skip to Heath, has to pick it up with his short stick. Can't do it, but able to maneuver his way around Taliska and get it. Swung to Dancy, he's got room again, but missed high again. When it works, he'll sting the corner, it'll be glorious. 52.8 to go, first period. No score. Can't imagine there's going to be too much offense today with the slick turf, the rainy weather, and the fact that Rutgers Prep is a highly defensive team. They don't score much and they don't allow all that much. Gertz swings it left. Dancy meets the double, slide comes. Has to back it out with Gertz, steps into it. Breitweiser, Heath rolls a shot, he scores! There's the first, it's Rollins Heath, the freshman's 17th marker with 23.2 to go. And the Cougars get the first goal. Finally. It was only a matter of time someone would find the back of the net. And the answer is it's Rollins Heath with 11:37 gone by in this game. And a face-off, something we haven't seen in quite some time. James Perry against Alex Stekovich for the Cougars. Harrison Walker and Max South on the wing for the Cougars. Scrum off the draw. It's hiked by James Perry and back to his midfielder Fiorello in the last 13. Slipped against Walker. Walker forces him to the outside, has one on the wing for Varga in the last 8. Varga trudging down the alley, feeds across, it eludes his man Coviello with 3.5 to go. The Cougars take over.
All right, Parker.
Just one shot attempt here, and it's going to be a desperation fling down the field, and Max South will do it. Will be wide of Gertz's stick, and the first quarter has expired with the score 1-0, the goal by Rollins Heath. And we'll take a timeout and reconvene for the second period in just a couple of minutes. The Cougars with a 1-0 edge with 12 minutes down in the Prep B championship game. You're watching the special edition of Cougar Lacrosse on MKA TV. Second quarter set to get underway. The score is Rollins Heath 1 and the Argonauts 0. Alex Stekovich has not had good success against James Perry tonight. This is only the third draw. Perry the senior, Stekovich the junior. Officials making sure that ball is set. Scrum off the draw and won very quickly by Perry. Perry with no points, and he'll just give it off. A true Fogo, and he'll retreat back to the midfield and go off for a sub as it's Varga around behind. Cougars have only allowed a couple of shot attempts from Varga. Backs down, Espinosa Dyson fires it wide. Ciotti able to back it up. Coviello with it here. Sophomore gave it on, Fiello to the other side. And it's Cohen trying to dodge on South. Cohen below the goal line, forced all the way there by South, has to back it out to the point. Fiorello and then Coviello. This time Walker forces him back. No slide, just Walker. He strips the ball away and the long stick comes up with it. He's got green grass ahead of them. Gleason getting back. Waldman on the wing. Feeds the crease and could not find Breitweiser. Hit off his cross. And backing it up are the Argonauts as the Cougars were in transition and had no one at the X. Charlie Phillips, a man who's seen a ton of work through the first 12 minutes. Ton of shot attempts put on, and has to be the fourth or fifth shot on goal that finally went through for the Cougars. Connor Cohen. Along it's Ciotti working along the outside, and Fiorello's got it back. On the wing South, looked like he deflected that one as it came back. And Coviello here. Looking for a cutter, no one set up in front. And now O'Hara comes that way. It's Cohen from the goal line, takes a shot that rolls wide on a bouncer. Backed up again, this extended possession as Ciotti had his stick helicoptered by Ethan Gross. No foul, clean play, and it's scooped up and on the run. The Cougars on the way up. It's Waldman on the wing. Holds back, and then Max South will back it out. Smart decision there to not force a shot in transition they didn't have. And the future Syracuse Orange, Jason Gertz with it. Avoids a poke check and gave it on to Dancy. Dancy in the middle this time. Gertz on the wing. Waldman from the goal line looking for a pass, as he does all the time. 30 assists for Waldman so far. Far and away the front runner in that category, and that won't change. Rollins Heath with it. And then it's Dancy. Between the hashes, down the wing, a shot. This time he scores! Dancy finally shoots low and finds the back of the net. 3 or 4 times in the first quarter he shot high and sailed it over the bar. This time lower right 90. And the senior captain's got marker number 26. And the first 2 goals in this Prep B final go to the Cougars. It took them 18 minutes to strike twice, but they have. And so far, Stekovich has had no answer for James Perry. All can change with just one. Again, Harrison Walker and Max South on the wing for the Cougars. Cohen and Gleason opposite for the Argonauts. Wow. clean win. Stekovich scoops it up off the ground as there was no tie-up this time. He's stripped of the ball by Gleason. Stekovich trying to golf it along, and it's played there by Carroll. And so the possession ultimately goes to Rutgers Prep. Off that face-off play by Stekovich, ends up in a turnover. Cohen nudged to the outside by Walker. Connor Cohen back ahead as the Argonauts can settle in. The big man Kyle O'Hara set up in front, turning the corner, getting free, and he lobbed a shot that goes right to the cross of Ethan Gross, and it's kicked along near the boundary line. And Nico Espinosa-Dice timeout called, so the Cougars preserve the possession. The veteran Paul Edwards calling time, the first of 2 allotted in this half. And a 2-0 Cougar lead with 8:18 left in the first half.
Very nice field, a very nice drive.
Midway first half, second quarter rather, 8:18 left on the clock. The Cougars off the restart. Paul Edwards spent the better part of a decade and a half here on Van Brunt Field. He knows when to call timeouts, and he will. Former Johns Hopkins player, Montclair High School standout. Back in his day, Gertz was checked. There's no flag. A couple of fans calling for one as it's Carroll giving him the business, and Gertz in around behind. Breitweiser and then Waldman. Kirsch again set up in front. Has only gotten a couple of chances today, none on goal. To the outside, it's Gertz again from Dancy. Turn in the corner, Breitweiser. Fed Gertz, was hit right away by Carroll and forced back. And Breitweiser again at the goal line, extended around behind. It's Waldman. He can do work from the X, setting up Heath. He scores! Make it 2 for Heath. And 3-zip, the Cougars lead. Midway second quarter. Rollins Heath just creeping up from the wing, had him right in front. Another assist for Waldman. And a 3-zip lead for the guys in white. All Cougars so far, except at the face-off X. Perry against Alex Stekovich. That's 2 for Heath and 1 for Ryan Dancy as it's played back, and this time a clean win for the Cougars off this draw. Walker and Nico Espinosa-Dice. Max South has to reach up and get it, but he does. Coming on Dan Arcilla, number 99, his first appearance on the field. With it here is Hall. Dylan Hall wearing his older brother Max's number 15 that he wore for 4 years as a Cougar player. More than 200 career points. At least for this year and the next, number 15 will be occupied by someone named Hall. Dan Arcilla. one of the young guys for the Cougars, 4 goals on the year. Breitweiser in behind, and Waldman again. Waldman to Hall. Getting some of their guys a rest like Dancy. This is Cedrance with it. OB Cedrance, number 10. Waldman to Hall. Working around the perimeter. Dan Arcilla backs it out, takes a look, and it's Hall again. Kirsch and Breitweiser up in front. Back to Arcilla. Cougars patient on this possession. As it's Breitweiser with it. Waldman and then Breitweiser. Trying to come out in front, turns the corner, tries to dip one in front. Did it cross the goal line? There's a crease violation, and going back to the Argonauts. Would not have counted anyway had it crossed the goal line. And we don't know if it did. Looked like it was rolling along the goal line. It bounced out. Sullivan ahead with this, as the Argonauts look to take advantage of a Cougar turnover and put up their first goal. 5:40 left second quarter, 3-0 the Cougars leading. Glad you joined us from Van Brunt Field. A very picturesque day, as I said, as it has been all week. Varga with this. They've held him silent so far. Daxon Walker gets the hands free and kind of sauces a shot that goes high. And it'll be backed up by the Argonauts here. Charlie Cohen the restart. Parker Santo Domingo gets a shot to defend number 50, another sophomore along with Arcilla. Ryu Mondesir changes number from 7 to 21 on the defense as it's brought along. Getting a pick was Fiorello and comes out on the far side. Goal line extended, back end around behind. Ciotti against Gross. Ciotti comes out on the wing. Varga here. Varga shot high again over the bar and backed up by O'Hara. We've seen O'Hara set up out in front oftentimes in the second quarter. This time he was at the X position. And there now is Fiorello. Fiorello against Mondesir. Comes out on the goal line. Back to Coviello. Coviello bounces one hang off the pipe as it beat Melitz. Mondesir trying to pick it up, nearly gave it away as he got it back to Melitz in his crease. Dylan Hall ahead with it as his ring is starting to come down sideways. Jake Waldman. Waldman against Gleason. Could not get a step. Rollins Heath again looking for the hat trick. Gertz and then Dancy. Out for Heath. Already with 2 goals. Breitweiser, Waldman around the clock. It's Gertz. Dancy in the middle. Dancy on the wing. Curls to the outside. Looks toward the front. Changes places with Waldman. Waldman sets a pick on Gleason. Gertz with it here. Gertz holds on the hash. And between the hashes for Heath up top. Down low, Waldman passed up a shot, or a pass. Dancy set up in front. The feed to the front for Kirsch was intercepted, batted down. Loose in the crease, no violation, just scooped up there by Phillips. Phillips for Carroll. 3:05 left second quarter. And the Argonauts looking to clear. Sullivan nearly ran into either Gertz or Breitweiser. Still cannot cross midfield. Lob ahead, off the cross of Fiorello, actually avoided his cross entirely and is scooped up by Hermo. Hermo lost it on the ground, and Fiorello lost it again. Vargas scoops it up, has it cleanly, and we get a whistle. And the Argonauts are able to get a timeout out of that. Their second timeout of this half. They'll have none for the last 2:41. A 3-0 Cougar lead nearing the end of the first half from Van Brunt. We'll be back. Late stages, first half, Prep B championship. Final 2:41 of the second frame.
It's that windy.
Rutgers Prep would love at least one marker before the end of the half. They can go into the locker room with some momentum here as the Cougars lead 3-0. Only 5.8 goals per game they're scoring, the Argonauts, compared to just over 10 for the Cougars, 10.1. Only 76 total goals this year in 13 games for Rutgers Prep. And the man with it here, Danny Varga's got 35 of them. Varga the shot off the chest of Melitz, maybe off his stick, and Varga there to scoop it up with Walker in tow. Gets by him. Gross also there, kicks to the wing. Pass missed Coviello. Kicked along, just socked along there by Nico Espinosa-Dice, and he'll come up with it. Bounces to Breitweiser at center. Breitweiser ahead. South numbers for the Cougars. Waldman doesn't step into an extra pass, and he missed his man Kirsch. That's a pass, so it's a turnover, even though the Cougars are back there. Unable to get a shot on goal, or a shot attempt anyway. Just a pass that missed. Down to 2 minutes, a minute 55. Way out of his crease is Phillips. The shovel ahead on a backhand. It reaches Coviello's stick. Coviello with it. Check from Hermo. Appeases the officials by stepping into the box. Ciotti on the wing. Circles around behind. Gross has him marked on defense. Reaches goal line extended. As Varga nearby, Hoera towards the front. Varga here against Walker. Connor Cohen and then Dom Fiorello. Takes a look, feeds the middle, and it was past Coviello. They've tried to feed him a lot and haven't been able to work. To get it to work, and it's maxed out the other way. This time no numbers, and they'll just set it up inside the box in the last 58 seconds. Rollins Heath here, and that's going to be a timeout called by Paul Edwards. So with one last shot, Edwards says, why not? Let's get a timeout, use our last of two in the first half with 54.5 to go, preserving a 3-0 lead. In search of that long-awaited Prep B championship. No longer is Princeton Day in Prep B. They've moved up to Prep A, and they lost in the first round of their championship a few weeks back against Lawrenceville. And so the Cougars, with a 3-0 lead, looking for win number 11 and a Prep B championship, are 23 minutes down. And we'll have another few seconds to think about this. The rain has not let up. It was a bit harder a few minutes ago and directly at our faces. Now seems to have slanted the other way. Thankfully, we are adequately protected here. Well, at least our equipment is. That's all that matters. The slanted tarp over our heads does wonders here at Van Brunt Field. And so the Cougars, off the restart, will have 54 seconds to cash in for a fourth time. For the Cougars, the goals by Dancy and Rollins Heath as a pair. Heath here for Gertz. Dancy set him on the left wing with Heath on the other. Dancy and then Gertz, offense runs through him up top. Heath and then back. Dancy on the wing. Breitweiser in behind. Waldman set up in front with Kirsch. 32 seconds. Just going around the horn, working some time off the clock. No worries about a stall violation here as we're down to 22 seconds. Goal line extended, Breitweiser, down low Waldman. Feeds Dancy, fake the shot, draws a slide, kicks to the far wing, and a shot from Breitweiser sails over the net and backed up by Waldman with 11.6 on the clock. So that time Breitweiser looking for a chance and he missed high. Around to 10 seconds. Jake Waldman with 6, has to be aware of the clock. Takes a shot as he was going down. Dancy will back it up with 1 second, and that is it for the first half. So a low-scoring first half, as expected, comes to a finish with the Cougars leading 3-0 over Rutgers Prep, and I'm sure many of these fans will head back to their cars and take some shelter for 10 minutes, as will we. So 3-0 our halftime score. You're watching this special edition of Cougar Lacrosse, the Prep B Championship on MKA TV. Back here in Cougarville from a rain-soaked Van Brunt Field. We are 24 minutes down in the Prep B Championship, and the MKA Cougars with a 3-0 edge through 2 frames. For the Cougars, goals by Rowan Heath. He's got 2. Ryan Dancy with the other. Very decent showing from these fans so far as they put the umbrellas and the ponchos and the jackets back on and move from their cars to the stands as we are almost set for the second half. Considering the road conditions and the weather conditions, everything else, not a bad turnout. Cougars had a very bad rain game senior day last year against Glen Ridge. That was on May the 13th, so almost a year to the day. And so James Perry and Alex Stekovich, again, duel at the face-off X. Stekovich had a couple of clean wins, but really it's been Perry who's controlled the face-off battle for the Argonauts in that first 24 minutes. And he has a clean win here on Stekovich. Back ahead, flipped it behind the back. Gleason got it on. Varga, he'll have to wake up at some point. He's got 35 goals on the ground and a clean pick as Espinosa Dice starts ahead. Danny D'Angelo through the middle. And Breitweiser on the wing. Breitweiser holds there as the Cougars get Max South and Danny D'Angelo off. Gertz with it here on the hold as Rollins, Heath, and Dancy make their appearances. The only 3 goals for the Cougars from the sticks of those 2. Waldman quickly snaps it to Breitweiser at X. Rollins, Heath here. And back for Gertz. The Cougars with far more possession time. We don't track that, but there's far more possession time for the Cougars, and you'd see it on the shot clock and where it counts too. Dancy steps in and fires wide. Breitweiser backs up. Breitweiser and then Waldman back of the cage. Dancy fakes, rolls, and at the wing it's Heath from Gertz. Breitweiser pops it back. Waldman has it here. Gets through and scores! Jake Waldman turns the corner and makes it 4. Normally he's passing to the front. Now he's coming right to the front himself from back of the cage.
That's too easy.
Waldman's 15th goal, the freshman, makes it 4-0, a minute 20 into our second half. How often do you have a freshman leading your team in points? It's plays like that. 45 points, 30 of them assists. This is 15th goal. Actually 46 points. He assisted on an earlier goal by Heath. Had a goal and 3 assists in the win against Mo Beard on Monday. Cougars really dominated Morristown Beard 15-3 despite a slow start. Only 2-1 midway through the first quarter. 15-3 the final there. As off the draw it is Perry. The Argonauts took care of Newark Academy 6-2, tied at 2 in the second half, or going into the second half, so another slow start as a shot from a low angle goes wide off the stick of Varga. So both teams taking care of their semifinal opponents and meet here in the championship game. Fiorello takes it here, Max South on him, rolls around behind the cage, tries to turn the corner like Waldman. Cannot free his hand, now dips in front, and the shot was blocked, didn't even get to Mel. It's Ethan Gross was down there. Cougars will clear with Nico Espinosa Dice. One of 7 seniors for the Cougars. Breitweiser had it stripped but got it back. Aided low with the defensive play there, and he'll play off the ball on Breitweiser, pops it around to Waldman at X. Of course, their substitutions. Heath and Dancy, the 2 attackers, come on. 3 of the 4 goals for those 2. Dancy to Gertz. The same offensive set throughout most of the game for the Cougars. It's in front, and Kirsch cannot cash in. And a snap up there by Perry, who comes out of his cage and will look to start the clear. Has to go through two Cougars. Put it on the ground, and it would have been a yawning net had Dancy been able to come up with it, but able to get it first was Phillips. Phillips leads ahead. There's a flag back on the other end of the field. It'll go against the Cougars, so the first man-up situation will go to the Argonauts on the next whistle when the ball is down or touched by a Cougar. At the 9-minute mark of the third, 4-0. Cougars adding a goal in this third period from Waldman. Connor Cohen here, still a man-up situation to come, and that ball hit the turf. That's not a goal. That ball hit the turf as Vargas set it out toward the front, and it was cashed in by Coviello. Not like in college where you can skip a pass, or literally a skip pass, the ball will touch the ground and bounce like it did just there, and you can keep going. In high school, the ball is ruled down and the whistle is blown immediately. And so Zach Kirsch will sit. Not that the Cougars really need him on this possession. They're not using a long pole. Penalty will come with the guys in black, the Argonauts of Rutgers Prep, needing a goal. Live here from Van Brunt, Corey Bavarian with you here on MKA TV. Happy to be back and calling some Prep B final lacrosse. I'm not sure if my camera guy wants me back since they don't like me.
Nah, we love you, Corey.
Thank you.
Can you replace this guy?
We don't like Shepard.
To the wing, it is Fiorello. I won't comment on that. O'Hara's got it, had it stripped. Espinosa Dice comes out with it in the long pole away down the sideline, but he had it checked by his fellow 22, Coviello, and getting it back is Espinosa Dice, and the Cougars can kill off the rest of this penalty with Walker behind Melitz's cage. Feeds Espinosa Dice, penalty still going on. It's flung desperately down the field, nearly caught by Waldman, but is by Gleason, and still taking a knee on the sideline is Kirsch, so 6-on-5, they can move it up, and penalty no longer. No, the penalty's still going on, excuse me, he was blocked. The view of Kirsch. Now it is over as Kirsch finally does stand up and run out on the field. Still controlled though by Ciotti. Nick Ciotti leads it back. Another flag is down against the Cougars here. Another flag as Varga will take a look. Delayed penalty, bounced a shot. Out of play, whistle will blow with 7:25 left in a second man-up situation for the Argonauts. Failed to get anything there first time.
Other news for Cougars.
So we'll get this penalty sorted out. Paul Edwards, the 15-year veteran, talking with the officials there. These are two teams who met in the prep tournament 2 years ago, back in 2016, the year they made the Prep B final and the state final, non-public B, as Danny D'Angelo will sit for this penalty. The Cougars and the Argonauts met in the quarterfinal round here at Van Brunt Field, April 27, 2016, and the Cougars took a 5-0 lead, was cut to 5-4 in the fourth quarter, eventually won 6-4. Cougars advanced to the prep semifinal and eventually the final that year. Cougars eliminated first round last year by Morristown Baird in a close game. Cougars were seeded 7th. Only 4 teams in this year's tournament. And so after a long pause, we begin with this man up for Rutgers Prep. Coviello still got it, 22 on the far side. Feeds the middle, a shot by Cohen is stopped into the cross of Melitz. Bounced out of his cross. And a loose ball foul against Rutgers Prep, so a quick turnover against the Argonauts, and the Cougars take over with this penalty almost done, given away at center by Espinosa Dice, and away goes Varga. In transition, rips a shot about 10 feet wide. Melitz to back it up, under 7 to play in the third quarter. So 2 possessions on that man up, as D'Angelo is not going to return to the field, but his penalty is done, back to 6-on-6. 2 possessions resulting, 1 a turnover and 1 a missed chance in transition. Ahead it's Max South. Phillips getting back into his crease. South has a man in front. It's rolled in by Kirsch. 5-0 in transition. The Cougars make it work.
Where's the camera? What? Where's the camera?
I don't know, you took it to your car.
Kirsch's team best 37th goal. His first today and the second for the Cougars in quarter 3. A 5-0 Cougar lead at the 6:35 mark of the third. What a statement it would be for the Cougars to, after trouncing Mo Beard, only allowing 3 goals, shutting out Rutgers Prep. Of course, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. There's already been 2 penalties against the Cougars, and we've still got 18:35 overall on the clock in regulation.
I'm more interested to see whether Steck will win this. I believe he's 1 for 5.
James Perry and Alex Stekovich. There's been more than 5 draws in this game, but Stekovich has won maybe 1 or 2. If we were not rating, we'd have a tally of the draws, but paper would get way too wet. Stekovich tries to push off the draw, and it's headed back to the Argonauts, so the official saw what we did. Had a clean win earlier in the game, a very clean win to Stekovich.
Haven't had one since.
Nick Ciotti with it here. Lays it on and brought on by Cohen. Connor Cohen got by Mondesir, got the step toward the front. Can't bounce it home. Melitz again protecting his crease. And the Cougars quickly take it back. Melitz, who had to make 14 saves against Mo Beard, allowed only 3 goals. Saving just under 9 per game, and that's turned over, and Varga back ahead, avoids a poke check from Gross, hit from the back, and that's going to draw a foul against Espinosa Dice. There's a flag finally thrown by the official, as a 3rd penalty has been committed by the MKA Cougars in this 3rd period. So Nico Espinosa Dice will sit. The long pole senior, who's been fantastic. Him and Gross have been fantastic defending the attack today of Rutgers Prep. Looking to cash in on an 0 for 2 man-up unit on their 3rd chance. They're being gifted these chances. To have not scored once is certainly not good when you're down 5 and haven't scored in the ballgame. It's popped behind for Varga. The 35-goal man silent tonight. A bit unexpectedly so. Fiorello left wing. Coviello feeds the middle. A shot is stopped again off of Varga. Alex Melitz again protecting his crease. He's got to have more than 14 by the time this is done. Ethan Gross ahead. Fans want an offside call, and there is none given by the referees. And the Cougars are able to wipe out another man up. Man down for them. 0 for 3 are the Argonauts man up today. Something in any setting is not very good. Statistically, you got to have at least 1. Rollins Heath right wing. Cougars haven't set up in their offensive zone in a while. Kirsch feeds the front, and Breitweiser fed the front. Kirsch cannot get it. That's a hit from the back. Waldman was popped, and it's going to be a foul on, well, the goaltender Phillips laid the hit. Yellow flag comes flying. Steve will serve this penalty at the 4:48 mark of the 3rd period. Well, a few students have braved the elements. Didn't know you can watch this game live on MKA TV. Well, I don't think they care. So that's the first foul, first yellow flag rather, against the Argonauts today. Looks like Connor Cohen, number 2, will sit for this one. He's crouched on the sideline. And a discussion between the officials Head coach Ryan Klipstein for Rutgers Prep, Paul Edwards for the MKA Cougars, being informed on the happenings here. Another delay to figure out the penalty situation, not the first time we've seen that. This is the championship game, Prep B. The Cougars reached the final 2 years ago, and Rutgers Prep reached it last year, both times falling to Princeton Day School, these two teams. The Cougars in that game were trailing 6-5 heading into the fourth quarter. There were no goals scored in that period. So they're used to low-scoring affairs in Prep B finals, although that's a team from 2 years ago. Essentially everyone on that team no longer there.
With just under 5 minutes left to go, the Argonauts really have to get on this 5-0 deficit.
5-goal deficit is doable for sure in the second half. Cougars were down 5-1 against Immaculata in the non-public B semifinal 2 years ago, back in 2016, and won 7-6 in double overtime. So a comeback, the Cougars have shown they can do it. Rutgers Prep was actually down 5-0 in the Prep B quarterfinal, as I said, 2 years ago, and they came back to make it 5-4, but fell 6-4 at the end. So both teams have shown they can do it. Not out of the question. Cougars came back from, I believe, six goals down in the fourth quarter against Glenbridge 2 years ago to win in double overtime as well. So still more discussion.
In other news, Harrison Walker committed today.
He did. He's headed to the Hudson Valley.
Yep. Hope he enjoys it there. Probably will. 4 more years of this.
So it appears Charlie Phillips will actually be taking the knee here. I've got to figure out the goalie situation here.
That clearly a huge loss.
So Hunter Waldron will hop out onto the field. Has not recorded any stats at goaltender number 33 in black. So all this penalties being served, not like in hockey where the goalie does not have to serve a penalty, someone on the ice would. In this case, it's going to be Hunter Waldron in goal as Phillips serves the penalty.
This could be a very huge loss for the Argonauts and potentially allow an easy goal as he warms up.
Giving him a few warm-up tosses here.
Misses the second one.
So the Cougars can get a rest, as can the Argonauts, setting things up as MKA will go to the man up for the first time. Something that, given the way their offense is clicking, could be good news for them, looking to make it 6 with 4:48 left in quarter 3. Waldron, we said, had no stats on him, offense, defense, or goaltender stats. In fact, no one other than Charlie Phillips has any goaltender stats this season. Phillips has started all 13 games, and same for the Cougars, Alex Melitz. Well, you've got Griffin Wheel, the backup goaltender, but it's been all Alex Melitz.
As the new goalie lets in a low bouncer. The second one deflecting off his shin.
Melitz, by the way, this year already with 8 games with 10 or more saves, likely to be number 9 when everything's all counted up and it's all said and done. We don't know what the live numbers are as they're being taken about 100 feet away from us on the far side of the field. 32 starts now for Alex Melitz, 12 wins and 19 losses, more than 330 career saves. It'll be Hunter Waldron this time, who'll have to make potentially a career save number 1. The Cougars 2, the man up. The goalie Phillips sits. How often do you see that? Rollins Heath looks like will be the restart man, and after about a 2-hour delay, just making us sit in this soaking rain here, the officials. Waldman playing up top. Heath on the wing, feeds Seadransk, a shot, save off the leg, So Waldron with the stop, snapped up by Carroll, and another flag, this going against the Cougars. The officials have been throwing their laundry all third quarter. We're getting chippy here in Van Brunt. Delayed call as it's still 6-on-5 for the Cougars. Coviello goes down at the hands of Breitweiser.
The fans love it.
And the Cougars now will be down a man themselves with 4:15 left in the third. This game will never end. Which, if you're watching at home, isn't the worst thing, but we are being drenched right now. At least I am, because I'm at the way end of this broadcast booth, and the cameras, rightfully so, are covered, as they should be. They have monetary value, and we do not.
I have to say, I finally understand why you tent all four sides of the booth when you film here throughout your 4 years.
Yep. It is certainly an art form.
Soon I will need to take a page out of your book and do the same.
It's not as easy as it looks, though. It comes with practice. Here's Varga with it. Coviello. It's 5-on-5 right now. And looking to escape is Phillips, as he's just waiting there at midfield, no longer crouching down, kneeling down. Waldron's still in goal as it's held now by Coviello. The sophomore has it near the sideline. 20 yards, 25 yards from goal, and O'Hara comes back on.
Max South now playing off.
Here now Coviello between the hashes to Varga on the wing. Changes places with Fiorello. Fiorello lobs it. Coleman catches. Down low, O'Hara. Coviello again. Feeds the front. They score. Finally, it's Ciatti. And with a penalty against the Cougars, it is 5-1. This the time for the comeback to begin for Rutgers Prep if they can. And so it is Ciatti with his 12th goal. Second on the team, only to Varga. Ciatti, who recorded a hat trick against Newburgh Academy on Monday, his only career hat trick, has the first marker for Rutgers Prep here. 3 of the 6 goals for this Rutgers Prep team against Newburgh Academy coming off the cross of Ciatti. 3:23 left, third quarter, 5-1. Stekovich to take the draw against Parry. Once again, Max South, Harrison Walker on the wings for the MKA Cougars. Wings will creep toward the face-off circle as Stekovich loses to Parry. Lofts it high for Gleason, his defenseman, and back to Carroll. And his crease now is Phillips after the whistle allows him to get back in. Aiden Lowe, pass missed everybody, was too high for Parry. Parry bumps Max South. Parry finally getting off the field as Max South will set up. It's a 5-on-4, but Ryan Modis here was under the long pole, and he'll get off for Rollins Heath. Max South and Ryan Dancy will switch as well. Dancy finally trots out onto the field. Jason Gertz actually was the first man to come out. As the Cougars get their 6-on-6 offense set up, even strength lacrosse here for the first time in a long time, it seems. Breitweiser to Dancy. Gertz again. Rollins Heath already with a pair. Gertz has yet to score. Dancy's got one. Christian Breitweiser. Dancy again. Playing catch with Breitweiser. Goes against Lowe. Waldman feeds Dancy, steps down and misses wide again. Dancy trying to sting that corner. His only goal, he shot it low and hit the bottom right 90. Rollins Heath between the hashes to Gertz, and then Dancy has it again. Slide nearly came, but did not. Creeping down toward the goal is Dancy and doubles back. Breitweiser's got it. And then Heath. Rollins down low to X. Breitweiser to Waldman, looking for a cutter in front. He's got Kirsch there. Passes it back. Dancy will let this one, it will not go to the boundary line. Picked it up just before that yellow line. Heath again to the top. Gertz rips and bounces it wide. There to back it up is Waldman. Gertz trying one from 20 yards out, just inside that 30-yard line. The goal was at the 10. Losing his stick was Waldman. Waldman really grabbed his elbow there in pain as it's played to the near side for Carroll. Carroll lobs, just avoids Heath's stick and picked up by Sullivan. Feed to the front from Ciotti, missed. And Varga has it here. Varga in behind, final minute, third period. Out to check him is Harrison Walker, swoops to the other side. Turns a shot on a turnaround chance, and he bounced it wide, but picked up here by Cohen. Cohen to the wing, Varga with 42 on the clock. Takes a shot, bounce to Mellitz, and he reaches out to get it on his knees. Alex Mellitz, another double-digit save performance, his 9th in 17 games this year. Gertz avoids 2. Gertz gets O'Hara to slip and go down. The Cougar fans love that with 21 to go. Gertz to Dancy up top. Quickly to Heath. Extra pass, Breitweiser. Steps around one shot, scores! Breitweiser patient, comes right in front. Stick fakes on Phillips and hits the top corner. 6-1 with 13 seconds left in the third. The Cougars wanted to strike before the third quarter buzzer sounded, and they did. Breitweiser with his 26th goal. 41 points for Breitweiser this year. Him and Waldman have more than 40 coming in.
As they change the face-off, man.
Danny D'Angelo will take this one.
Stekovic hasn't done very well tonight. It makes sense as the coach.
Paul Edwards going for the change. They can afford to do that up by 5. Grabbed here as we're going to go toward the Cougars' offensive end of the field. D'Angelo trying to come up with it. He's pushed off the play by Gleason. Here is South, right into his cross as the period ends. Nice little highlight reel play for Max South to end the third. Same for Christian Breitweiser, who struck with 13 ticks left in this quarter. And with 36 minutes down, 12 to go in this Prep B championship, the Cougars aren't necessarily cruising just yet, but they have a 6-1 lead heading to the final frame. You're watching this special edition of Cougar Lacrosse, the Prep B championship game on MKA TV. To the fourth quarter we go on MKA TV. Corey Bavarian with you here. This exciting lacrosse game, if you are a Cougar fan, has the Cougars up 6-1 after 3 quarters of play. Alex Stekovic back on to take the draw against James Parry. Scrum resulted on the last one. Still the rain is coming straight down. About as heavy as when we got here 3 hours ago. All week, really. huge thunderstorms last night. Thankfully not now, because that would cause the game to be delayed automatically for 30 minutes. Adding insult to injury there. Something no one wants to have happen. So Stekovic against Parry. Stekovic takes a seat. Parry comes up with the ball. And Parry ahead for Covey Yellow as the first possession of quarter 4 goes to Rutgers Prep, and it's got to be rapid strike, rapid fire for the Argonauts here. Varga steps into it off the cross of Melitz, comes right to Walker off the deflection. Here we go. Are we on? That shot is stopped. Okay, so the knobs were just flipped down to mute. Okay, we're good. Trying to get our mic system set up here. There's a slash on Kirsch, it appeared, and there's not going to be a yellow flag. Sullivan with it here, and then Connor Cohen. So we're back on the air, 10:23 left in the fourth quarter, 6-1 Cougars in front. Connor Cohen. Got Dancy out there, dodging on him, steps to the middle, draws a slide from Parker Santo Domingo and backs it out to the point. Has an open man, Ciotti, goal line extended. Gross off the ball on him, now puts the stick in there. And Ciotti backs up. Ciotti turns the corner. Gross on him. Takes a shot, did not get through as Melitz had just bounced up there. And will be backed up by the Cougars with 9:43 left. Cougar ball was the ruling. Officials will tell Jason Gertz to restart. In the final 9.5 of the fourth. Dancy here. Dancy had it tipped, picked up and dropped by Coviello, could not scoop it up off the high chop, and Gertz has it here off the scrum.
Gertz with some fancy footwork to pick that one up.
Gertz to Heath, looking for that hat trick. Bounced off the ground as it was behind the intended target, Heath, but picked up by Breitweiser, so a couple of loose ball pickups for the Cougars on this possession in transition. Cougar ball left end, Gertz with it. Rollins Heath spins around on the far side. Breitweiser to Waldman. High lob for Dancy. Gertz and then Rollins Heath. The freshman to the senior Gertz. Another senior Dancy co-captain shot was ripped high and wide. Again, looking for that corner strike.
Dancy, another player who's a senior who will be playing next year.
Dancy, a Rhodes College commit. Headed down to Memphis, Tennessee. And Alex Melitz, the goaltender, will be at Southwestern University just outside of Austin, Texas. So a couple of warm weather schools. That shot rolls wide. Low angle shot coming from Rollins Heath and backed up again by Waldman. Down to 8:24. Waldman trying to dodge. Spins around Gleason. Back around, turns to face, shot, scores! Individual effort, Jake Waldman.
A beautiful shot. Diving, laying it right in the top. It goes off the crossbar and into the back of the net. Beautiful play by the freshman.
A pair of goals in this second half for Jake Waldman. He had a signature assist in the first half and now has two in the second half in the Cougar fans briefly chanting, he's a freshman. That he is, and a darn good one. That's a pair of goals, 15 and 16. 7-1 with 8:13 left in the fourth. Stekovic staying at the faceoff X, as is Parry. 6-goal edge for the Cougars, starting to run away with it. As Waldman just put the moves on Liam Gleason. Very, very patient at the back of the cage. Quick face-off. Stekovic pushed, but coming up with it is Walker, scooping it up. Waldman in transition, feeds extra pass. Breitweiser, Kirsch on the doorstep.
Beautiful ball work.
Zach Kirsch, another one.
Kirsch, as one of the players said, has the most goals for the fewest steps.
He'll just park himself right in front. This one in transition. Phillips out of his crease. And another goal for Zach Kirsch, who came in with a team best 36. Dancy and Breitweiser tied for second, coming in with 25. And Kirsch, the junior, leads them on with 36. Saw him as a freshman at Long Pole and were impressed by his play. Sophomore year. Missed much of the season last year, sophomore year. Recorded 13 points, 9 goals. Has now scored in 14 of 17 games played this season. Had that 4-goal performance against Montclair in the 12-10 crosstown rivalry win in the last 8 minutes.
Winning another face-off.
And it rolls right to Max South, gets a touch in the box, and the Cougars will set up this time. The Prep B championship all but captured for the Cougars. Just 7:40 left. Breitweiser on the wing. Arcilla. That pass from Cedrance misses Max Hall and comes all the way for the boundary line. It doesn't matter if the Cougars were back there when they weren't anyway. It was a pass, and Taliska will back it up for Rutgers Prep, and he'll start it out. On the run against Kirsch. And he gave it up on the boundary line. Kirsch was able to ward him to the sideline. And Kirsch comes up with a giveaway. Cougars on the restart. It is Arcilla. Arcilla will set it up. Second line, I guess you will, for the Cougars, coming in with Cedrance, Dylan Hall, Dan Arcilla. But still Breitweiser, Waldman, and Kirsch on the field for the Cougars. Right wing, Dylan Hall takes, draws a slide, Breitweiser to Waldman. Goal line extended, Kirsch comes out on the wing. Changes places with Cedransk. Arcilla with an 8-1 Cougar lead, last 7 minutes, fourth quarter, Prep B championship game from Van Brunt. Certainly glad you have joined us. Braving the elements for you at MKA TV, that should be on your slogan. Cedransk scores!
Obi Nato with a beautiful shot. Beautiful goal.
Another freshman to tally. All 3 freshmen on these first and second lines for the Cougars. Waldman, Heath, and now Cedransk have found the back of the net. This is 9th. So a 9-1 Cougar lead. And all the young guys getting in the fray here and on the scoring sheet. Just been informed Mr. Christmas is watching this game from the front desk. I'd like to shout you out, Mr. Christmas. We all love you. And we thank you for watching this game. Everyone for watching this game. Here on MKA TV, the Cougars with 6:35 left, lead 9-1. And Stekovic on the draw. Clean win that time by Parry. One of many. And we get a timeout. Rutgers Prep, I guess, prolonging things, trailing by 8. As Ryan Klipstein calls a timeout, the first for either side in the second half. Leading 9-1 with 6:28 left in the fourth quarter. You're watching Cougar Lacrosse on MKA TV. So the Cougars with 6:28 left until the Prep B trophy will be theirs. Rutgers Prep, I mean, at least they can hopefully wait for a rematch with this Cougars team. Seeded 5th in non-public B, the Cougars seeded 4th. And as a result, if Rutgers Prep can defeat Holy Cross out of South Jersey, the home game on Saturday morning, as a shot rang off the pipe and out of play, it'll go back to the Argonauts. And the Cougars can defeat Gill St. Bernard's on Saturday, and Rutgers Prep can take care of Holy Cross, the 13 and 12 seeds respectively. Then they will meet right back here midweek, likely next week, in the quarterfinal game. A couple of moves put on, losing it Coviello, but getting it back. Ball's on the ground, kicked along, shoveled along here, and a shot scores. Right in front was Cohen, and Connor Cohen has Rutgers Prep on the board again, 9-2. Picking up the loose change out in front of the net.
Connor Cohen with 3 assists last game decided to get one on the board for himself.
He had 3 assists against Newark Academy, 5 assists in his last 2 games. His last goal before this was April the 14th against North Hunterdon. So a month to the day, I believe, since the last goal. Is this the 14th? No, 16th. Oh boy.
More.
Oh boy. More than a month since this last goal. He gets another.
Welcome home from college. Yeah.
That's what happens, that lull between college and jobs and all that stuff. Anyway.
Stekovic gets ready, hoping to win another.
Stekovic, who lost the last one in rapid fashion.
And I believe the one before that.
It's
Loses this one too.
Hiked here in the first possession. Will come to Breitweiser. That's a win for the Cougars, and Breitweiser's got it. Avoids a check, a trail check, and gets it on to South. Max South, part of this midfield group. South dodges a couple, has a man in front. Kerr spins around, turns to face, and rolls it wide of the net. Rutgers Prep ball on the ruling. And Gleason will start it out. Walden was back there, but he was beaten to the punch. 5:30 to go, 9-2. Cougars scored the first 6 of this one. In garbage time mode here just about as it's Parker Santo Domingo on the sideline, and Coach Edwards will call a timeout.
Coach Edwards probably telling his team how important it is to close out here with 5 minutes left, up by 7. Very necessary for them if they want to come away with this and move to 11-6.
Also want to just keep the momentum going, not be able to say you made it a close game. Want to be able to say you blew out Rutgers Prep in the Prep B championship game, which they are right now, 9-2 with the last 5:19 set to go off the clock. Cougars looking to improve to 11-6. Rutgers Prep will fall to 5-9 if this stays final.
Well, with 5-7, you figure it would. There's not much time, and they'd need to score more than a goal a minute.
Well, more than a goal a minute. 5 minutes to make up 7 goals. Well, the Cougars just about at their average in goal production. 10.1 per game they're firing at, and they've got 9 today. Rutgers Prep under 6 per game, 5.8, only 2 so far tonight. The Cougars with that 1-14 season a year ago, which Cougar fans do not want to talk about, only had 94 goals scored last year, and their championship run year, 2016, at 187 goals. Now have 171, Rutgers Prep up to 78. And Rutgers Prep, by the way, allowing 8.7 goals per game, so nasty deflection there comes right to Ethan Gross. Unlucky for the Argonauts, as there was a chance for Ciotti to come up with it. He could not. Ciotti, one of the 2 goals.
Seems to be pretty much within the range of what has been happening for them today.
Ciotti with one of the 2 goals for Rutgers Prep. In this one, he and Cohen have the 2 tallies. Phillips thought that he had the ball, but he'll leave it for Waldman, as it was ruled Cougar ball, white ball. looking to make it double digits for the third straight week, the Cougars, after falling to Somerville 13-6, one of the worst efforts of the season. Followed up with a 12-3 win over Cedar Grove and 15-3 in the prep semi over Morristown Baird. Now 9-2, so you could say the Cougars are playing their best lacrosse, which is what you need come May. Playoffs starting this weekend.
What a turnaround from the Somerville game where they were not firing on any cylinder.
And you were there, weren't you?
I was there. It was bad. The Cougars were unproductive. Their goal-keeping game wasn't on point. Just all around not playing their best, and they got outplayed, frankly, on every single aspect. This game, however, they have not.
Kirsch fires wide, and backing up is Breitweiser. Melitz in that game, 14 saves. Interesting to see if he has 14 in this game, more or less. Zach Kirsch with 4 Cougar goals in that out of 15 total. 5 players in that with 4 points, and 4 players, rather 3 with hat tricks. Kirsch, of course, then Breitweiser and Dancy, each with 3.
The game clearly slowing down as some of the fourth line players come in, and the Cougars continue to expand their lead, their 7-point lead with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left.
Kirsch to Breitweiser, rather Gertz to Breitweiser. Gertz got it back.
Starting to play up on Gertz here.
Gertz avoiding a check, has a step on the inside, rips one, save made off the stick of Phillips. Bounces toward Rollins Heath, who's got a couple first quarter goals for the Cougars, and it is out of bounds.
As the goalie goes
That's going to be a flag here on the Argonauts, I believe. Rollins Heath with a couple of goals in the first 16 minutes of the game. Not first quarter, first and early second. Took a tumble there, and the Argonauts will have John Carroll sit the long pole. The senior. An equipment check on the far side with Jason Gertz. His shoe
has come off.
It has come off. Well, maybe not. Playing through whatever's going on. I think he's got 2 different colored cleats. One black, one white. Set up in front.
Breitweiser's doing the same thing. It looks like they might have each. Yeah, they might have borrowed one of each other's cleats.
Rollins Heath in search of that hat trick since early in the second quarter past Breitweiser. Just missed it. Breitweiser trying to scoop it up, but it's picked up by Coviello, and back the other way come the Argonauts with 2:40 to go. Down 7, another flag on the Cougars this time. Ethan Gross wards Coviello to the outside, a delayed call, and it's got to be a quick chance here. Down by 7, getting inside and poke checked away was Coviello. Ball down into the cross of Melitz, and the Cougars this time will be man down. Exactly what you wanted in a blowout game. More delays. All of our penalties, I believe 5 or 6 on both sides, have been in this second half. There was a flurry early in the third quarter, and now coming down the stretch with 2:26 left. It'll be 6 on 5. Trying to get one for posterity is Rutgers Prep.
While it's no longer raining sideways, it certainly has not decided to let up.
It's been straight down most of the way. In fact, all the way. Got here at 2:30, and it was brutal. Road closures all around. This Rutgers Prep team did not make it in from Somerville until about 3:45. Game was delayed till about 4:15 to start. Fiorello deals near side. Varga here. Scoreless so far. Gets by 1. Gets a shot that's high. 1:50 left in the fourth. Coviello again. At exits O'Hara. We've seen him in front of the goal many spots in this game. Fiorello up top, got it back on the wing. Adex Coviello, O'Hara reaching back for the pass and has it. Cohen's got it here. Try to nudge Gross, could not get anything on him. Penalty time up, back to 6-on-6. No, excuse me, penalty time not up just yet. Around behind, it's O'Hara. And that pass missed Coviello. Another attempt to get Coviello the ball, and it doesn't work.
Breitweiser now with it.
Penalty time now up. Back to 6-on-6 with a minute to go. Waldman for Breitweiser. No need to try to put up that 10th marker, but you can anyway.
With 55 seconds left, it'll be interesting to see what the Cougars do here. So far, it looks like Gertz will just hold it.
Gertz holding as we're down to 45.
They're playing up on him, looking for Dancy.
Gertz just holding, still with 40. Dancy out high. The Rhodes College commit. One of the leaders of this team, senior co-captain. A year ago was really the guy, 20 goals, 20 assists, 40 points on that 1-14 team. He escapes a double with 20 to go. No intention of shooting, around behind now for
with 15
still at
seconds
X.
left. They
15
will
to go.
Just hold it.
Trying to get a check as they're playing out high on the ball. Goaltender out of his crease with 6 to go. It's Breitweiser, spins around Varga, down to 4. And the Prep B championship in convincing fashion goes to the MKA Cougars. The celebration is on at Van Brunt with a 9-2 victory. The Cougars mobbing their goaltender Melitz.
As we can see, the Cougars have suffered some injuries along the way, including star midfielder John Hatfield. They've made it all the way here, and they do not intend on backing down.
The Cougars controlled the offensive attack from start to finish, really. As this game, much to the delight of many of us, goes final. The weather is certainly been a factor all game long. And as the celebration continues, the huddle near midfield on the Cougars sideline. The handshake line will commence. The Argonauts ready for the Cougars to break their huddle and shake hands and get out of here. And the Cougars will do the same with a 9-2 win. Well, we said it. The Cougars are playing their best lacrosse right now. Here in mid-May. Was not the best of things weather-wise, but for these Cougar fans, the best of results. Cougars improved to 11-6 in this really rebuild result. Rebuild year was last year, won only 1 game. Now have won 11 with the state playoffs yet to come. Ryan Dancy at the back of the line shaking hands. Alex Melitz at the front. And so the state playoffs will continue for the Cougars. They'll begin on Saturday. Likely a morning game or early afternoon game against Gill. The same for Rutgers Prep. They'll take on the guys from Delran in South Jersey, Holy Cross. As the Cougars get a salute from their fans. A 9-2 victory for the MKA Cougars. So I think it's high time we get out of Van Brunt Field right now. The Cougars with a 9-2 win over Rutgers Prep. For all of us here at MKA TV, we thank you for watching this special presentation of Cougar Playoff Lacrosse, the Prep B Championship. I'm Corey Rivarian. The Prep Trophy is in the house, as you see at midfield, will be presented. We will have that for you, and then we will say goodnight. Athletic Director Todd Smith. The runners-up, Rutgers Prep. Nick Ciotti, who had one of the 2 Prep goals. See who takes this trophy for the Cougars. Will it be Dancy? You heard him say his first Prep championship since 2013, and all the seniors will take this one. Dancy the first to touch it, and all 7 seniors around him. Posing for a photo at midfield. And the entire team will huddle around the seniors, who will take a knee in front. A long-awaited victory. Half a decade in the making, really. The 2018 Prep B Championship to the MKA Cougars. And now we will say goodnight. 9-2 the final. MKA defeats Rutgers Prep. You've been watching MKA TV.